I mean, one thing Tyrique gonna do is he's gonna Tyrique.
That man is a menace. Where did y'all find him? Send him back because he is a menace.
How about them cowboys? How about them cowboys?
It's nice to see that even the islanders have noticed that Tyrique is a menace. He is a menace. And that challenge was his for the take. The way KayKay was shooketh after the challenge, she was so stunned. She was like a deer in headlights. She couldn't understand what Tyrique had just done to her. And for Justine was just chill. I love that they were both very laid back and just relaxed and enjoyed the moment. What do I think? I think Marvin looks great. I'm happy he's come in. I think it was about time Chris got a challenge from another professional athlete because he's taking advantage of the amateurs, as I said in my comments. And also Nicole did her thing. She did a big one. I personally feel like Chris is doing her a favor because production have asked him to cheer her up. I don't know whether he likes her, or whether he's doing it just because he's been asked to do it. He's done it before with Huda, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing it again. This was an amazing challenge, and I can't wait for the twist that's coming on. So hey, it is what it is. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island Games Season 2, Episode 7. Okay, so we start off with the islanders are just standing there and just watching, Solenn and Matt go. Lucinda is very upset. She's distraught. She's being consoled by Kendall because Kendall said that Matt was his closest guy friend in the villa. So it's nice to see that he's looking out for Lucinda, and he was trying to encourage Lucinda. So Lucinda was saying now that, he's gone, she's going to focus more on the game. And it's like, we all know Lucinda. If a guy pays her attention, she's going to have her head turn. I wouldn't be surprised with that. It's only a matter of time before her head turns. Solenn having a conversation with Isaiah. Isaiah has actually become a big brother to Solenn. The way he's very protective and supportive of her is so endearing. But then I remember he's got a little sister that came to see him when he was on the show. So I wouldn't be surprised that, he's just gone into big brother mode. They went to Speakeasy. They were having a conversation with Solenn's. Well, with Nicola saying that Solenn was her best friend in the villa, so she's really going to miss her because the moment Solenn came in, things changed for her because Solenn was able to involve her in everything else and not make her feel left out. So although she didn't get a romantic partner, she's happy that she had a friend in Solenn and she's really going to miss her. And it was really sad, to see her be that upset. But at least, her partner was consoling her. While Chris is in soul ties with KayKay, they're having a conversation and they're feeling bad because they are the ones that nominated Solenn and Matt, and now Solenn and Matt have been sent home, so they feel bad about that. And it's like, well, but then if we didn't send them, who else would have gone home? Maybe you should have nominated yourself. How about that? Maybe you should have nominated yourself and you could have taken out the competition if you are that guilty. I don't think they're that guilty. I think they're just doing it because they knew of the backlash that would come from the viewers. Toby and Tyrique are a menace. They are. They really are. The way they were speaking in code is just hilarious. For Toby to come and tell Tyrique that he's finally kissed Andrea, Tyrique was happy for his boy. He, on the other hand, was feeling a bit low because, he really likes Justine, and so he doesn't know how to sort of navigate that because Justine is being very elusive. I think Justine has been played by so many Love Island boys that she's now she goes into self-preservation mode, and sadly Tyrique likes games when he's in control. He doesn't like games when he's not in control because otherwise he's going to lash out and he's going to play up. So Justine had better make up her mind whether she likes him or not. Otherwise he's going to leave and move on to the next target. Johnny and Andrea on the deck. I said this before, I'll continue to say this. I'm not slut shaming this girl, but this girl has a way of using her body. She's always into physical affection, and it's like, get to know someone, speak to someone, show us some other sides of you, not you just making out with someone or you having sex. She did the same thing with Brian. She did the same thing with Tyrique until he got the ick. Now she's with Johnny, and it seems Johnny himself is getting the ick because when she kissed him, Johnny couldn't understand why she kissed him. He eventually kissed her a second time, but at first he couldn't understand what is going on in here. They were happy that they're still in the villa, that they get to continue to explore their connection. Just like you could still explore it at home. You don't need to be in the villa to explore your connection. So you could catch the next flight back to the US and still explore your connection. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And then Tyrique, well, KayKay swerved Tyrique and Tyrique has moved on. He's not going to hang around and continue to be embarrassed because he went to, speak easy with Justine. And the way they were flirting, Justine likes him. Justine likes him. She either likes him or she likes the idea of him, or she knows that there is a large fan base that's supporting Tyrique, so she wants to get in with him. If she and Tyrique match up her fan base and his fan base, they will make it to the final. So it was really cute to sort of see them sit there and have a conversation. And Tyrique was like, you're giving me mixed signals. I can't read you, and I don't like that. I want to know who I'm dealing with, because he said he's good at mind games, so he can't play mind games if he's not able to read the person that he's dealing with. You could tell she's smitten. Justine is smitten. The flirting was there. And the fact that, she was trying to say, oh, my exes have hurt me, so I'm trying to be more cautious. And he said, well, I'm not your ex, so why are you judging me with the same ruler? I'm not your ex. You shouldn't judge me with the same way you judge somebody else who treated you badly. Come to me with an open slate. One thing about Tyrique is he's always going to be open and honest. So regardless of whatever's going on, you're going to know what he's thinking and what he's going to say or whatever's happened. So I hope she gives him a chance. Anyway, the islanders get ready for the night. While the girls are getting ready, Chris comes to check in on Nicole. I've said this before. Chris doesn't like KayKay in a romantic sense. He likes KayKay because she's good for him in challenges. But with Nick, he appears to maybe fancy Nicola and Justine more than he does KayKay. So him coming to check up on her, for me, is one of two things. It's either romantically he really likes her, or production have sent him to check in on her because they know she really likes him. And I hope he is not buying into the second option, because that would really be devastating for Nicola, because she likes him romantically. If he doesn't, then he shouldn't pay her the attention and he should just leave her alone. The islanders go to bed and everyone is making out in bed. Andrea and Johnny, that's an everyday thing. You have Kendall and Gabby, that's an everyday thing. And then surprise, Justine and Josh. I didn't get that. I didn't understand it. I don't know why. Because Justine was saying I'm the only person who hasn't been kissed. So to go from that and suddenly to start making out with Josh doesn't make sense to me. I thought she was smarter than that. I really thought she was smarter than that, so I don't get why she did that. Anyway, in the morning, the islanders are getting ready. You have Kendall making breakfast for Gabby. He's going to take it in soul ties, and they're going to have a conversation there. Everybody else was brought breakfast, and it was really cute, and it was really nice to see that, it was very laid back and very easy. Yes, the tension is heavy because they've just had a couple dumped, but it was nice to see that Kendall is trying his best to be very romantic. I don't know whether he likes Gabby or is trying to change his narrative and appear as though he really likes her, because he made this breakfast for her, took her to Soul Ties, and they were having conversations and sort of just discussing about their lives, about, a moment that changed them. And Kendall brought up the fact that when his parents divorced, that was a defining moment for him and changed him to be the man that he is, which was really sweet. I really loved that. And then Ty having a conversation with Johnny. Ty is a menace because Ty was saying they're having this conversation in the sense that Johnny, I think, has realized that Andrea is not as good at challenges as he thought she was, and is actually seeing where Tyrique was coming from. And so he's saying, in order for us to win as a team, I have to carry Andrea. She's not good at anything. And Tyrique is like, well, you need to stop kissing her and focus on the game, because if you continue to kiss her, you're not going to see the game, and then before you know it, you're going to be out. So it was really nice to see them sort of have that chat and, just talk amongst themselves. I thought it was the sweetest thing ever. Tyrique obviously had made breakfast for Justine, which was really cute. And then you have Josh exercising with Andrea, and Andrea sort of told him that I kissed Toby yesterday, but the kiss didn't mean anything to me. My kiss with you meant more. That's what she implied. And it's like, girl, you kissed this man twice, and now you're making it seem like he's the one who kissed you. Make it make sense. Why make it seem like he is the one who forced you into something when you were just as into it as he was? So the idea that you kissed him, enjoyed yourself, and then now you're going around telling people, because the night before she confided in Gabby that, it didn't mean much, you still thought of Josh. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Don't waste our time and try and lie to us when we can see otherwise. What we see is what we believe. Chris pulling Nicola, Nicola pulled Chris for a chat, and they were just talking and chatting, and you were saying to her, you're doing very well, you're doing very well. I don't know whether he's looking out for her as a little sister and trying to get her airtime, or whether he's doing it because he really likes her. I don't get it. Yes, they did speak about her swimsuit. She did teach him a couple of words in her language, in Maltese, but still, I don't quite understand that connection. I don't know whether he's doing all this because he really likes her, because she really likes him. KayKay on her part was saying she feels some type of way about this chat because she doesn't understand what's going on. And for me, I don't know why KayKay hasn't noticed that this man is not as into her romantically as she thinks he is. The words coming out of his mouth and his actions are not matching. So I don't get it unless we're not being shown the full picture. Then otherwise, I think there's more to that story that we need to see. So after his chat with Andrea, Josh then pulls Justine to the deck. They have a conversation because obviously they kissed or they were making out in bed and they haven't told anyone. And he's trying to say that I need to speak to Andrea and tell her the truth, because if I don't tell her the truth, if she finds out, then she's going to be upset. So I need to have a word with her and explain to her what happened. Justine on her part said, okay, no, that's fine. You can go ahead. I wanted to speak to you first before I told anyone else. And it's like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. And I agree with what Tyrique said, because she went to tell Tyrique, and Tyrique said, she was saying, we were just laying in bed and then one thing led to another and we made out. And Tyrique said, I'm sharing a bed with Lucinda, but I don't kiss Lucinda in bed. So make it make sense. He did say he felt some type of way about Justine kissing Josh, even though he didn't feel anything about Andrea. So Andreina kissing Johnny, which tells you that he's moved on from Andreina. He's not going back. He's more into Justine or KayKay. Whoever's head turns first, that's where he's going. Kendall is seeing himself as the statements of the villa, isn't he? Because he had a conversation with Isaiah, sort of saying, where do you stand? Do you have a connection with anyone? Are you going to explore anything? And Isaiah was sort of saying at the moment he doesn't have a romantic connection. Sadly for Isaiah, Solen was his only romantic connection, and now that she's gone, he's in this situation of no man's land. He's got his little sister that he's protecting, and then he's got nobody else. So he's trying to see what he can do in order for him to sort of move forward. And with Sydney coming in, I don't think he's going to go back. I don't know. We'll see. Josh telling Andrea that he kissed Justine, and then Andrea saying it cancels each other out. It tells you that Andrea is not feeling Josh. She's not feeling Josh the way he thinks she is, because if she was feeling him, she would have been affected by that. So for her to say that, were you kissing her and me kissing, Toby cancels each other out. And it's like, we're not doing equations. It's either you like me romantically and you're affected by my actions, or you're not. You can't say it cancels each other out. What does that mean? Make it make sense? I don't get it. And so I was just side-eyeing her and just looking at him and thinking, this man needs to see that this girl has moved on and she's not that into him. She's using him to stay in the villa, and she wants to go back to him because she knows that's the only way she can stay in the villa. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, the islanders are hanging around the villa, and Justine is sort of laying there with Tyrique, and she receives a message. Islanders, tonight you'll compete in the next high-stakes challenge. The Islanders are just hanging around, and Justine receives a message that reads, Islanders, tonight you will compete in a high-stakes couples challenge, Gone in a Heartbeat. The couple that raises the most heart rates will be crowned the new power couple, and the couple that raises the least heart rates will be vulnerable. And it's like, oh my God, it's about to be messy in this villa. So what happened is they then got ready for the night. And once they got ready, the Islanders then came and sat at the fire pit, and they would come out in couples and sort of compete and, in their outfits, which was really cute. I loved it. First up, you had Gabby and Kendall. They came out as a doctor and a nurse. It was a train wreck. It was a train wreck. I think they were trying not to be very sexy and to be respectful because we all know Gabby said she's a V. So I think they didn't want to do anything that might sort of make her feel uncomfortable or make people behave in a way that would make her feel uncomfortable. And so I think this is why they did that. Next up was Tyrique and Lucinda. Tyrique was a menace. He was a cowboy. She was a devil. Well, she was in spandex with devil horns. And Tyrique went to town for Chris to say, I'm about to be pissed off. And it's like, pissed off about what? You really don't like KayKay. So the audacity for you to say that, that's a lie. And we all know that. Tyrique went to town. He kissed every single girl. I didn't see what he did on, what's her name? Andrea. But the fact that he took Justine and KayKay and laid them on the cushion and went to town. KayKay afterwards was sort of puzzled. She just stood there. She was blank. I think she was struggling for blood to run back to her brain because she couldn't understand what Tyrique had done because she was saying Tyrique is a menace. Because when he walked out, he started on her, ended on her and just did, and it was like, oh my God. I'm surprised he didn't raise their heart rates. I've always said these heart rate challenges, they should put up a monitor and show us in real time as the heart rates are going up whose heart rate is being raised by whom. But I think production do it the way they do it because they want to be messy. Next up was Josh and Justine. They were good. They were good, but they were not amazing. He was a sailor. I couldn't quite make out what Justine was because she was in this sort of spandex sort of outfit in red, but it looked nice. It looked very nice. They did their best. I expected her to do more on Tyrique, but I didn't get to see much. Isaiah and Nicola, she was a bunny, he was a clown. They did their big one. They tried their best. They really tried their best. That's all you could do. So they tried their best. Nicola was going to town on people. And sadly, the alarm sounded off for most people before they could do anything because everybody else started trying to take people to the cushion like Tyrique. But by the time they got to the cushion, the alarm would go off. And it's like, production are messy. How come Tyrique got to do all that nonsense, but everybody else, the alarm goes off? And then you had KayKay and Chris. He was wearing a camouflage thing. She was wearing a leopard print. And she tried to do the Huda sort of upside down, leg shaking thing. But he was holding her so tight she couldn't do anything. But she really tried. Toby and Andrea. Andrea was sort of in this spacesuit outfit while Toby was in a ringmaster outfit. And they tried. They really tried. That's all I can think. They tried their best. Didn't stand up, but hey. And then Andreina and Toby. Toby was a fireman. Andreina was sort of like a cheerleader. She's got the goods, but I didn't see what she did with them. Personally, I didn't. The fact that she stood up on top of Tyrique and was shaking her bottom in his face, Tyrique didn't seem fazed. Tyrique has been turned off. Whatever she did, whether it's the laugh, whether the fact that she's not as active as I expected her to be, something has turned him off, so he didn't seem fazed by that. And then suddenly you had the two new bombshells walk in. Sydney from season 4, and she was on the last season of Love Island Australia. She left because, she couldn't find a connection. And now she's back in the villa for her ex, I assume. And then Marvin, he's an athlete. I think he said he's a basketball player. And he was on season 1 of Love Island France. I'm happy he's in. Not just that he's good looking, but the fact that Chris now has competition because there is another professional athlete. He did his big one. He really did his big one. And the girls were excited. The fact that he lifted KayKay and told her that you like a tall guy. Here I am. And KayKay was excited. KayKay was excited. She was having the time of her life. She's having the time of her life in this villa. And I love this for her. Once they'd gone round, the funny thing was when they walked in, Isaiah couldn't recognize Sydney. Somebody else said to say that's Sydney, and then he went, oh yeah, that's her. And it's like, oh my God, has Sydney had so much work done that you can't recognize her? Anyway, once the challenges were finished, you then had the winners announced. So it was, first they went off with who raised whose challenge, and then they announced the winner. So Chris raised Lucinda and Nicola's heart rates. That's to be expected. Nicola really likes him. Ty, his heart rate was raised by Gabby. I don't think so. Kendall's heart rate was raised by Lucinda. Toby was raised by Sydney. Josh was raised by Nicola. Isaiah was raised by Gabby. Johnny was raised by Lucinda. And KayKay was raised by Toby. Surprise, surprise. I'm really in shock. that Lucinda, after raising so many people's heart rates, they didn't win. Maybe production wanted, Nicola to win and be safe from the elimination. For the girls, Lucinda was raised by Isaiah, Gabby was raised by Tyrique, Andrea was raised by Johnny, Justine was raised by Isaiah, Nicola was raised by Chris, Andreina was raised by Marvin. And it's like Andreina's got a new conquest. If Johnny dumps her, she's going for Marvin. That's the impression that I get. The power couple was then revealed. It's Nicola and Isaiah. Nicola was excited. She really was excited because she really did her big one. She tried her best. The vulnerable couples apparently are Andrea and Toby. Sadly for Toby, it's a repeat. And it's going to be a repeat until, I don't know, he gets somebody else that the fans really like. KayKay and Chris are vulnerable. Because when KayKay and Chris came out, everybody was saying we can't make them power couple again. Let us not raise our heart rates. And they were shocked because they went from power couple to being vulnerable. And so I can't wait to see if they are up for elimination, in the next episode. Andreina and Johnny wasn't happy. Tyrique has already warned him that you're going to carry this. He's already told Tyrique that he's going to have to carry their couple in order to win. Andreina is just pretty, but she's not that active. So I can't wait to see what happens. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 6. Bye guys.